Ages are devoted to the possibility that we're dealing with a lab escapee.
Well, the WHO is controlled by China. I dropped out of the World Health Organization. I thought it was ridiculous. They were late. They were wrong.
They advised against travel restrictions. They objected to your travel ban from China.
Well, they really did what China told them to do, if you think about it. They were like a mouthpiece for China.
How beholden was the WHO and Dr. Tedros to China?
Deeply beholden. Dr. Tedros owed his leadership role at the WHO to deals that were cut with the Chinese Communist Party. Dr. Tedros couldn't have been that next leader without the support of the Chinese Communist Party. And then we saw the behavior on the ground where he talked about how wonderful the Chinese Communist Party was behaving. They were doing all that they could. And we now know nothing could have been further from the truth. Again, this is the tragedy, the central tragedy of the end of 19, the beginning of 20. It became political, not scientific. It became driven by personal incentives and not the data set.
Do you think there should be an investigation into Dr. Tedros's ties to China?
You know, sure, but we already know an awful lot. The truth of the matter is that when the WHO was tasked with accomplishing the singular mission with which it was intended to accomplish, preventing global pandemic and the spread thereof, they fell down. And they fell down because they weren't willing to confront the perpetrator. They weren't willing to demand from the Chinese Communist Party that they be given access. They failed. They failed because of the absence of backbone and resolve, and the world is deeply worse off for this.
P4实验室是目前世界上生物安全等级最高的实验室，也是最安全的实验室。实验室的建成，标志着我们国家的科研人员能够在自己的实验室当中开展烈性病毒的一些研究工作。
Before the pandemic, much of the world had never heard of the term gain of function. Put simply, it's genetically manipulating a virus to give it new functions, like the ability to infect humans. That's what was happening inside the Wuhan lab.
You know, there's quite a logical explanation when you look at the virus and its special characteristics. That, you know, this is the result of taking a natural virus and mucking around with it.
COVID-19 is like a Frankenstein virus, and it looked to many scientists like it had been cobbled together, because it has a bat virus backbone with a pangolin virus spike protein and a unique furin cleavage site in the same spot where Chinese scientists were genetically tweaking viruses.
For those who keep bringing up, you know, the possibility of a bat in the wild markets in Wuhan having been the source of COVID-19, scientifically that has really no merit because it can't infect bats. So it couldn't have come straight across from a bat if it can't infect a bat.
If COVID-19 was the result of gain of function or other risky experiments at the Wuhan lab, remember this: that same lab was being partly funded by America.
Dr. Fauci, knowing that it is a crime to lie to Congress, do you wish to retract your statement of May 11th where you claimed that the NIH never funded gain-of-function research in Wuhan?
Senator Paul, I have never lied before the Congress, and I do not retract that statement.
Take an animal virus and you increase its transmissibility to humans,
right.
You're saying that's not gain of function?
Yeah, that is correct. And Senator Paul, you do not know what you are talking about, quite frankly, and I want to say that officially.
Dr. Dr. Anthony Fauci is America's top medical advisor. I found a scientific paper he wrote in 2012, where he argued the benefits of gain-of-function research were worth the risk of a pandemic. In total, American agencies funded 65 research projects at the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
So you don't want to go to Hoboken, New Jersey, or to Fairfax, Virginia, to be studying the bat-human interface that might lead to an outbreak. So you go to China.
Are you concerned at all about how it happened that the gain-of-function ban was lifted during the Trump administration? How was it that Anthony Fauci was able to do this without anyone knowing?
Well, I don't know for sure who all was involved in that decision-making process. I can say this much. When we look back and figure out how that